Today, I want to talk about something that's on everyone's mind, and I get questions about this all the time. And so my topic for today is how to deal with the past. Because we all have a past, and we all bring it into the now, and when we bring the past into the now, it has an impact on us. And most of the time, when we bring that past into our life, it's not a good thing. We're bringing in all the negative feedback that we've received from past events, and that we build a greater and greater and greater expression of. I might suggest that we should use our past the same way science uses its past, in that it brings to the present moment only as much of the scientific thought that has proved to be of value. So really think about that. Go back and think about a relationship that once was. When you look at that relationship, what did it teach you? What did you learn about yourself in that relationship? What did you learn about yourself that was of value? Maybe it was that your jealousy ruined the relationship, and that in reality you had no reason to be jealous whatsoever. So you bring in the wisdom or the scientific thought that I don't need to be jealous in a relationship. It doesn't serve me or my partner. Maybe it is you learned from the past that you made an investment in a fly-by-night type of get-rich-quick scheme. And you learned that maybe that's not the right type of investment for you. Now, when you bring that wisdom forward, you don't beat yourself up. You don't bring the negative emotion forward with it. You bring in the wisdom that I invest differently. In my relationships, I'm open and accepting. I have trust. You bring the wisdom forward. You leave behind the negative emotion. One of the things that you find, and I see this all the time, is that a complete reverence of the past, just because that is the way things were, that's an unhealthy situation. We defend the past so many times. You and I defend the past because it's tradition. No, you don't have to honor the traditions of the past. They're in the past. Tradition means staying stuck in a familiar way. I believe we were meant to grow. I honor the past. I take from the past. I build from the past, but I'm always moving forward. I'm always establishing new traditions. Now, I'm not saying traditions are bad. I'm saying some traditions really serve. The tradition that we have at Thanksgiving, sitting down as a family and having a meal. That's a tradition I love. I love the tradition of doing gratitude before I eat with my family. Those traditions, those habits serve. But a reverence for the past, just because it was the past, just because it's the way we always did it, got to let that go. You see, the more we dwell on the past, the more we bar any new future experience. You see, there's so many people, Bruce Springsteen's got a song, Glory Days, where he runs into a buddy he hadn't seen for years, and they go into a bar and they have a drink, and what do they talk about? The old days. And they start living the old days, and they go back to the bar again, and they live the old days over and over and over again. No, that's in the past. What are you doing now? Let's talk about now. Let's explore new ideas. Let's not dwell on what happened. Let's dwell on creating a new life, a more expansive life, because that's where the juice is. When we dwell on the past, we cease to be creative. This state of living causes the body and the mind to become stagnant. You see, the body and the mind are their healthiest when they're in the creative state. When the body and mind are no longer in the creative state, the body becomes stagnant. If you really think about it, so many people, when they get out of the creative state, their bodies start to deteriorate. Why? Because the body just knows, well, they're not creating anymore. Why do I need to stay healthy and virile? You got to use your creativity. And when you use your creativity, your body and mind create a vibration within them that supports the creativity that you're trying to bring into the world. When we cease to be creative, every function and recreative process in our body slowly but surely begins to diminish it until we die. You see, when we stop being creative, we're sending a message to our body, let go, and it starts to deteriorate. You ever notice that the people who are mature, older people, who have a purpose, who are creative, they tend to have very healthy bodies. They tend to be well adjusted emotionally and physically and mentally. But people who don't have a purpose, they start to deteriorate. And what do they talk about? How bad my body feels, my ills, my aches, my pains, my meds, and all of that. There's something about being a creative individual that gives you a zest for life beyond. Now, I don't want you to think that the past is not good. The past was of value, and it served the purpose of showing us what a particular state of mind created in our life. That's exactly what it is. I think back to all these events that happened to me. Like when I dated in college, I was in a relationship, and I realized that my state of mind was not right. It was, what could I get from that relationship? What could I get out of it? And that wasn't about it. It was about, I learned that what served me was, how can I share? How can we be together, grow, and support each other? How can we do that and still have fun instead of just trying to get whatever I could out of that relationship? The past, I look at my past and I look at the jobs that I've had and how I dealt with people and the lessons I learned, so that now when I'm dealing with people, I deal with people completely different. Because I've learned that we don't know what people are thinking. We don't know where they are. And it's best to ask. If we don't ask, we won't know. That was one of the biggest lessons for me from the past, is don't assume you understand what someone's going through. Ask them. And if they tell you, then you have an idea. They may not tell you, but that's okay. The key about the past is to accept the lessons and the wisdom from the past. But we must not let it dictate the nature of our future. Because if you keep focusing on the past, you keep your energy at the same frequency vibration from the past. And what happens is you're creating Groundhog Day over and over and over and over again. Accept the lessons. Accept the wisdom. And create a new goal, a new desire for yourself. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care what your past has been. You can start right now, right today, just tweaking that desire up one little bit. And then surround yourself with gratitude in your life. And you're going to make steps forward like you can't even imagine. It's only when we free ourselves from our attachment to the past that we open ourselves to a greater expression of life. You know, what did the Buddha say? It's our attachment that causes suffering. It's our attachment to the past. It's our attachment to people. It's our attachment to things. It's our attachment to being a specific way all the time. Attachment is the source of our suffering. When we can free ourselves from our attachment to the past, we're now open, and our mind can be creative, and we can now have a greater and greater and greater expression of life. You see, one of the things that I've come to understand is life is living through me. I am an expression of life. The breath that I breathe is life breathing breath in and through me as life. And here's the key thing. Life is always seeking to express more of itself through us. So if you think about that, life never goes back to the past. Our human ego and our body do. But life is seeking more. It's seeking to be a fuller expression every moment in this now. In life, there's only the now. And to be in the now, you've got to let go of the past. If you can remember and live that mantra that life chose to be you so it could experience more of itself as only you can, you now understand why you're here. You're here for life, and life is here for you.